Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Stitching Colourist with Shirley Lewis. So in today's video, this is one that's been kind of requested by a lovely subscriber. Now if you remember in the last, it wasn't the last video, it was the one before the last one, I did a Temu haul where I brought a couple of things. There was a cross-stitch item, but I also bought these pack of 84 colours acrylic markers. Now you can get these, look very much like the ones that you can get on Amazon, but I wanted to know what they were like on, I forgot where I ordered them from now. From Temu, that's it. I wanted to know what they were like from Temu. Now, I'd love to do a comparison because I can't really give a proper review to see if these are any better than the ones from Amazon. But obviously, I'm going to have to wait until I can order the same set from Amazon and then do like a comparison video. But I kind of wanted to do, say, a bit of a colour and chat just to show you how I'm getting on with these and at the minute, and to see generally what I think about them as a whole. Now, I started off okay with them. So I just generally wanted to test them. So I didn't do a swatch sheet or anything like that at the minute because I don't know, I want to have a proper swatch book to do the swatching, so I think I might do that. I did say in the last video when I quickly showed them that it come with free tips as well. Now these are, the tips here are proper like plastic even on the end as well. Now the pens itself, now from the ones that I gather come from Amazon, these pens, they actually come with the shade name, well not the shade name, the shade number on the tip of the pen, where these actually don't come with it there. But however, they do come with the shade number at the barrel of the pen. So this is 931, and if we look on the back of here, 931 is this colour here. So yeah, so we'll have a look at them now and I can show you what I found at the minute. Now I wanted to see what they were like in the Colorised Mysteries. Now the brush ones, now I can't say from the brush markers from Temu because I didn't get them from there. The brush ones that I've got were from Amazon. Those seem okay in these books, however I'm not too sure about these ones, and I'll tell you why. Now I started doing a picture here. I started off quite good, okay, not too bad, but I found the more I was colouring with them, the more I had to, they kept getting missy and bitty, if I'm making any sense, which I'm probably not, where I pressed down on the marker and a while it coloured nice, but then the ink started to skip and slow down again, so I had to then get the pen yet again and shake it and press down a few times. This is all the times I had to do that. But then again, I have been colouring quite large spaces here, so that might be the reason why. I'm just guessing maybe that's, these markers probably wouldn't be the best in your larger areas. They may be better for books that have got a lot smaller areas. So the area that I'm colouring is number 2, which is this one. Now it's not the exact colour there. I couldn't get the exact colour, but I thought I'm just going to go with it and we'll see what they're like. Now, on a whole with these larger areas, it's like I go back and say it did get a bit skippy, so it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. I seem like I got on better a bit with the darker colour, which I may have done, but yeah, it's not perfect with larger areas. So I would say, now I can't make the same claim on the pens from Amazon because maybe the tips are different from there. I really don't know. But with them from here, you've got the fine point tips, but the tips are quite plasticky. It's not like a fabric or a felt tips, you know, like your normal felt tips where you can, not soft, but they're like a fabric feel. These are just pure plastic, so I think that's the reason why they kept skipping. So I'm going to look for some smaller areas on here that we can test out some of the other colours, because if I carry on with this one there, I've got a really large area of brown here, and I just feel like it's going to get boring. But saying that though, I have got an area at number 2 here, so we can do that. So I'm going to give it a shake again, yet again, and I'll zoom you in, and we can see ourselves. So what I usually did was, they do feel quite scratchy as well. So what I did was I did the outline round of where I've got to go, and then I shaded in that area. So it's like I said, on the smaller areas it seemed not too bad, but I just don't feel like these ones are made for larger areas, especially the ones from Temu. Like I said, the ones from Amazon, I can't really comment on that because I haven't used the Amazon ones. I do want to see about possibly getting the ones from Amazon to see if they're any different, and as I said, do a comparison. So they are quite scratchy. They don't cover the numbers completely, but that could be just because obviously general lighter areas. And this will probably prove me wrong now, as I said before, about colouring larger areas. But yeah, anyone that does have these markers, do you actually, yeah, it's getting, see what I mean? When I've been colouring with the one area, the ink seems to like stop in that area, so I either have to turn the pen round, or then, yeah, it's slowing down here now. So the ink, it's actually stopped now, it's not coming out anymore. So now I've got to just shake it again. We'll see if it works by just shaking it. So that's a problem I'm finding with these at the moment. No, so the ink's still not coming out, so I'm going to have to give it a pump a couple of times. But the thing is, I'm doing it on here and the ink's coming out, but it's not coming out a lot. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm having to keep doing that. Now I must admit, the last couple of days I haven't done any colouring because of that reason. I think I just got sick to death of having to keep pumping the pen to try and get the ink to come out of it. So yeah, I thought I would do this video though, because as I said, lovely little subscriber says she wouldn't mind seeing what the work has. So to be honest, for the price I didn't pay that much for them. Obviously, being from Temu, they were cheaper. And I've just coloured a space. Oh, damn it. I've just gone into that corner there where I shouldn't have done. So I think for a cheaper paint pen, they're okay, or even smaller spaces. But larger spaces, I really would not go for them. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I think of the tips as well. Whether they're supposed to be very plasticky like that, or whether they're supposed to have like a fabric kind of a tip to them. So I don't know if anyone else has used these. So we've got one, we've got a bit there. So we have got more number 2s up here, but I think we're going to test out another colour so you get to see some more colours. So we'll start up in here, so at least then I can give that space to dry. Zoom you back out. So yeah, I'm going to start in this corner here. Number 10, or maybe I could do a number 3. Number 3 is like a dark brown, but I've already used that. I have. So let's have, I'm going to refer to on these. The colours are not exactly like there. That one is more that one, isn't it? So used a really dark brown for that one. I think the best one is probably this one. It's not exactly the same. It's a lot darker, but I think we're going to have to use that one. So 896. And the thing is, with the numbers not being at the top, I'm having to pick out each of the pen to try and find that exact number, which I'm not going to be able to find. What number did I say? 896. So that's the thing, I'm having to have a look in here to try and find that. I've got 893 but not 896. 888. 9. Oh, so yeah, I'm not a fan of the numbers being on the barrel. Them look like the colour shades down there. So where on earth is 896? No, not that one. Is it like a red brown? 896 here. It's more of a red colour, that. Never mind. I don't think I'm very well going to be arrested by the colour police. So I'm just going to try it and see if it is that colour, which is like a dark brown there. But that is that colour, 896. That shade of the tip of the pen really doesn't look the same colour as that. So yeah, that's the other thing. They're not exactly the same colours, but I'm just going to pump it on here. Try and get the colour to come out. Yeah, it's starting to come out now. I don't want to pump it too much because I don't want the colour to suddenly start splurging out like it will. So there. My husband. So I'm turning the book round. That is more. It's more like of a brick red, isn't it? Than the dark colour. So yeah, that's another thing. I'm definitely going to have to do a comparison video to see if these are like the Amazon ones, and see if it's just the ones from Temu or whether it is the actual shades, to see what the quality's like. I'm just going to colour that. Oh, bless me. Sorry. Sneezing. So yeah, another sharp, well not sharp, another hard tip. I'm just doing that there. So how is everybody's weekend going where you are? The weather here in the UK is glorious at the minute. I went out this morning because I needed to do an errands run, and I've worn my long sleeve thin top, but then I put my cardigan on over it because I thought it looks nice, but it can get a bit windy on the seafront. Not that I went on the seafront, but it can get windy by there, so I did that, but found that I was really warm. When I've coloured this bit, we'll have a look if the ink actually matches to the box, or whether I will have to do a swatch sheets to go with. I'm going to have to get like a swatch book. I'd love to do what some other people do, where they have like a folder with the different swatches, but I don't actually have a printer to print out the swatching pages. So you can see there, the ink hasn't stopped running, so that went okay. And let's have a look at the colours. So that shade that I've just coloured there is supposed to be that. Yeah, you could tell the difference there. So yeah, bearing in mind, if you do have a look on Temu about these pens, I will probably do what I didn't do and do a swatch sheet. Because the colour on the box does not match the actual colours of the pens. Yeah, they definitely don't match. But hey ho. Like I said, I'm not going to get arrested by the colour police. Watch the colour police come knocking at my door now. You coloured that the wrong colour. But yeah. I'm often wondering if you can get these in an 84 set from Amazon. I've seen, no, I haven't looked on Amazon Direct. I saw on Instagram. Now, the people, I don't know if you've seen these videos, but I've seen quite a few videos with colouring in these kinds of books, because I love watching them videos, especially with them using paint pens. And I saw a couple of people with these acrylic markers, but the fine tips, and they look quite decent, to be fair. So, but these was I think they were either 160, maybe 160 set. But those are like, I think they're about £80 something, and yeah, £80 a lot of money. So I'm just wondering if they do them in the 83 set, and having a look how much they are, and getting the 83. Is it 83 or 84? No, 84 set, sorry. Seeing them, if they do them in the 84 set, and what the ink like and what the tips are like in the 84 set in the ones from Amazon. So that would make an interesting video to get the two, comparison the two together, and then doing like what I'd prefer to go with. Because yeah. So at the moment I'm getting no ink slowing down, or obviously the tips are still very scratchy because of them being pure plastic tips. So yeah, it's not the perfect of colouring, but it'll do. It'll do. So yeah, it's a lot lighter than what I wanted. I wanted it dark, which was this colour here, and it just is not like that. But still, I'm going to try these. Yeah, the ink's slowing down a bit when I went to draw the line there. I'm going to try these in some books that have got really small areas in, and see if they're any better in there. But I will have to do a swatch sheet before, because obviously the colours don't match up with the pens, and I'm going to have to find a better way to put the colour numbers on, because those on the tip here, you can see them clearly, but they're no good for when you actually want to have a look in the box, because you can't see the number, so you're having to pick out different pens to see if they're the right one. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I think the ink is starting to slow down a little bit now, so we'll probably have to give it a few press downs. I'm sure I've got no ink on my hand. You can hear how scratchy that is. Oh dear me. Yeah, I'll admit with Temu that they're alright, okay for things, but lately I've had a few things where it's like they're okay, the products, but they're not. Yeah, they're cheap in price, but unfortunately also means that they're cheap in quality as well. I've had a cross stitch kit from there before. I didn't know the one cross stitch kit was an actual copy of a artist, so that was a bit of a thumbs down from me. But then I had another cross stitch kit that I tried, and unfortunately that one, the thread was constantly getting knotted. The thread was always getting knotted, where in the finish I just could not stitch with it. I just couldn't do it. So with littler things, they're all right with small items, but yeah, I've not had a thing that's absolutely fantastic from them. They're cheap, but unfortunately, like I said, they're also, a lot of the stuff can also be cheaply made as well. So I think that's why it's important to try the Amazon ones to see if they're any different. Saying that though, I don't know. It's like these with the tips being like plasticky. The ones from Amazon could be the same. Generally, the tips in them might actually meant to be like plastic thin tips, because they are fine tips. So they might meant to be like that. I don't know. But yeah. I'm just doing these here. So what's everyone's plans for the week? Have you got any nice plans set out? Are your kids off at the minute? Mine are. They're off for spring break. My brother's son, though, he's not off until next week, because them are in the West Midlands and they're always off a week after us. But yeah, the kids are off for 2 weeks now. This week's going to be busy. Tomorrow they've got the dentist appointments, which they're probably not looking forward to. But yeah, Brandon, oh bless him, he's doing better now. I don't know if I actually told you, because I haven't done a stitching chat or a colouring chat, but a couple of weeks ago he managed to break his finger at school. Don't ask. I had a phone call from school to say that he'd hurt his hand playing hot potato. Another kid had thrown a ball in his direction and he'd thrown it a bit too hard and it bent his finger back. They said they put a frozen compress on it, but the swelling still hadn't gone down. And this like happened at 11:15 and they called me at 1 o'clock. And they said, we can either try it again, keep him a bit longer, or if you'd like, you can come and have a look at it, because they said, we think he might have to be seen. So I went to his school, because I said, no, come and have a look, I want to see. I went to his school and they come out and it was swollen, but his little pinky was sticking out at an awkward angle. And I was like, yeah, that needs seeing too. So I called the 111. First woman I got on the phone, unfortunately, was not nice. But then I got the kids home and I tried again, and this, yeah, ink's slowing down now. And I tried again and I got a much nicer woman this time, and she took the details, she got back to me and she said, we think that he'll probably have to go to the hospital because it sounds like he's possibly broken his finger. So took him to the hospital. We went to they referred us to the minor injuries department part, and they took him for an x-ray. I wasn't allowed to go in with him through the x-ray because obviously the stuff they use in the radiation things, but they took him for an x-ray and he came out. And I said to him, so how did it go? And he said, I'll tell you in a minute when we went outside. We went outside and he went, ah! He said, that hurts. He said I had to stretch my finger out and bend it out. He said it really hurts. So yeah, we had to wait a bit, bless him. And we went back to the minor department, and then they'd confirmed that he'd actually broken his finger. Now, I think where he'd broke it was about there. I think he'd broke it there. So he had to have his fingers strapped up, and he's not been able to play the sports that he likes at school, because he was, unfortunately, before it happened, he was playing after school hockey club. Now that was out the question. Obviously with a broken finger he couldn't do that. He was struck with football at school, because obviously when they're kicking the ball about, you got to not risk smacking your hand with it. So the last couple of weeks he's not been able to do that either. So bless him, he's had to miss out on that. But when we went for a checkup on Wednesday last week, they gave him a check over, and they said that it's healing very well. They've took, I've got ink on my hand. They've taken the strap off his fingers now, because they said he doesn't need to have it strapped up. And they said that he should be fine, that he's just got to stay from heavy sports for the next couple of weeks, but he should be all right after a couple of weeks, which I said, well, that's really good actually anyway, because the next 2 weeks they're off school anyway, so by the time he goes back to school he should be able to resume his normal activities. But yeah, I will be giving him a talking to. He's sat on the chair next to me now. I'll be giving him the lecture of, be careful what you're doing. I'll just buy loads of bubble wrap and just wrap him in that and send him to school on his merry little way, covered in bubble wrap. No, I know these things happen, especially when they're kids. And it could have been worse, which I'm thankful it wasn't. But it must have been so painful for him, bless him. Not to mention, like I said, it hurt it at 11:15, and they hadn't called me until 1 o'clock, because they wanted to put, obviously, the compress on it and see how he got on with it. But yeah, he had to put up with that, bless him. But he's been really, really good about it. He has. It's been very good. He hasn't got aggravated with it. He hasn't refused anything when he went to the hospital. The doctor said how brave he was, because he said when we went for the checkup he was stretching it out, and he said, yeah, I can move it now, look. And he was there stretching his finger out. But yeah, he's glad to have the strap things off now, so we must be thankful for that. Yeah, so yeah, smaller areas on here, good. Larger areas, no. Because you'll constantly be shaking your pen and pressing down, colouring, shaking your pen, pressing down, colouring, and so on. So yeah, I'm going to tell you, no, I'm not going to tell you my overall thoughts on these markers, because I want to do the comparison to see what they're like from the Amazon brand. But as for the Temu brand, they're okay. I'd say they're worth probably what I paid for them. Would I have paid any more for these? Well, I think I paid about £25, £30 for these. Would I pay any more? No, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't do. Like I said, do they have larger areas? No, definitely not, because they'll work for a little bit, but then the ink flow will start slowing down, and you do have to keep pressing down on, excuse my writing down there, I was trying to remember something earlier. You'll have to keep pressing down constantly and shaking the pen, colouring for a while, constantly shaking the pen, and after a while, I'll admit, that can get really, really tedious. For smaller areas, I'd say, yeah, probably use them for smaller areas by all means, because you're not going to constantly be shaking the pen then. Would I say to do a swatch beforehand before you're losing these? Definitely yes, because the shades on the back of here don't match up. For one, they don't match up with the pens itself, and they're a lot lighter. And the other major thing I'd say about these is the shade numbers. They're not on the tips, which would make it a lot much easier. They're on the barrel. They are on there, which is okay, and they're clear for you to see. However, you do have to keep taking out a pen to try and find the right one. So yeah, so that's what I think of those. I will do a future comparison video. Like I said, I'm going to have a look on Amazon, see how much the 84 set is on Amazon, and do a comparison together and see. And I'm going to make a few notes for this one, like pricing range, see what's worth the best, see what's a better quality. Then I'll use them in a book and see what I prefer. So yeah, anyway, thank you if you've lasted this long. I do apologise if you're bored at your wits now. But yeah, when I start, I don't stop. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for now. So if you have enjoyed the video, please feel free to give the video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please feel free to press that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. In my next video, I will be doing an unboxing. I've got an unboxing from VIP Cross Stitch coming, and it should actually be here today. So I might film that today, but I won't be uploading it until a couple of days' time. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. So goodbye for now, guys. Bye.